You. Yeah, you there. You want to go to Japan? You want to see all the fun anime things because they're just the best country in the entire world, and you really, really want to go there, and it's all like sunshine and daisies and roses once you get there? Well, I've been trying to do that for the past couple of years now. I would say since probably mid 2021 or so, I've had plans to go. And the reason being is, as you may know, if you've watched any of my content in the past few weeks, I am really passionate about the world of the anime. You can see behind me, I even have an anime weeb lamp that I use on my Twitch channel. You should watch my Twitch, by the way. All that said, I've been planning a trip to Japan for a long, long time, and I'm going to be going with a good friend of mine, Tony. Well, at least I hope so, because going to Japan right now, to be with the anime paradise, it's really a bit of a task right now. And so I'm going to talk about kind of how this all came to be, and then how it's been going, and why I don't know if I'll be able to go to Japan or not at this point. It's really an interesting kind of case study of what border restrictions are like in Japan, and I really think you guys might find it interesting. If you do, you can go ahead and like and subscribe and click the notification bell if you're feeling extra crazy. But with all that said, let's go ahead and get straight into what it is like to go to Japan. So when I started planning in, let's say June of 2021, I have no idea when it actually is, but that sounds good. I knew that it was going to be a bit of a task. You see, Japan's borders have been closed for a long time due to a certain
Japan will relax border control measures to be on par with the U.S., as well as resume visa-free travel and individual travel.
Most countries to open, and most countries have done that. Well, except for the one that matters. Look, I'm just a simple man. I just want to go to Akihabara, spend a bunch of money, and revitalize Japan's economy, because things have not been doing great there. You can look at the yen compared to the dollar. Last I checked, it was 144 yen to $1. I think 100 yen should be $1. That's kind of how bad it's doing right now. But you still can't just enter Japan, because here's the deal. There's actually been progress in terms of actually being able to get to Japan, and I've been waiting patiently for that ever since June of 2021 when I started planning. Because essentially all I want to do is I just kind of want to roam around and be able to go into a shop and see what's there, visit a shrine, and do things like that. The plan is right now to go over the holidays this year, kind of late December, early January, be able to experience New Year's. There's a lot of really cool things in Japan outside of anime. I know that's hard to believe, but there is. And I want to experience some of that stuff because I'm so passionate about kind of the culture that I have experienced through the anime. Okay, I get it. Look, I know I'm an anime fan through and through. I don't know what Japan's actually like because I just know it through anime, but let me dream, dang it. In June of this year, actually it was on my birthday of all days, June 10th. That's right, buy me things on June 10th. The country said, here's the deal. You can come on over to Japan. Bring your friends for a guided package tour. So you might be wondering, how do they regulate that? What's the why do I have to get a guided package tour? What if I just got on a plane, said I had one, and then didn't? Well, Japan's government's a little bit smarter than that. As you could probably imagine, they have implemented a system where you have to get a visa, right? You essentially have to have a sponsor in Japan and book your 2-week tour with a Japanese tourism company. And on top of that, that's not all. That's not all, folks. They had a strict 20,000 tourist limit, 20,000 tourist cap to that. So once they hit that cap, they're not allowing anybody else in. And these same waivers applied also to students and people doing business in Japan. Now, students and people doing business in Japan had a lot more free reign going around Japan. If you're a tourist, you have to abide by your strict guidelines. As somebody who wants to go walk around and be able to go into whatever shop, eat dinner at this place that looks kind of cool, this was not the appealing option, if you can believe that. So I kind of sat on my hands for a little bit, and things were starting to kind of look like maybe they weren't going to happen. And now, to this day, it's kind of like that, but hold your horses, because that's not the end of the story. This past month, we've gotten some news out of Japan. They had really not had much happen in those few months, but the yen, the value of the yen, had been going down, and I think what happened, this is completely speculative, I think what happened is they said, uh-oh, we don't like that the yen is going down. That's not good. We need more money. And so, in order to get tourists to go, they said, hey, what if, here's how, listen here, we allow 50,000 tourists a day instead of the 20,000, okay? We can do that for you guys. And no more guided package tours. You don't have to do those anymore. We're completely nixing it altogether. You are good to go. But you still have to book through a Japanese travel agency, and they have to know your itinerary and book your accommodations. Now, as somebody who would like to, as I've said multiple times this video, just explore, this is fairly ambiguous. They make it very, very clear. This does not mean a return to individual tourism. But at the same time, they don't really have any guidelines for how they monitor tourists once they get to Japan, and quite frankly, many Japanese companies at this point are just kind of signing off on the papers so that you can get your visa, because you still, at this point, have to get a visa in order to enter Japan. Man, I just want to buy some anime figures. Is that so much to ask? Then this week rolls around. And see, I've been planning this whole thing for weeks. I've got not an itinerary per se, but I've got a general idea of where we want to be on what days. We've got calls scheduled with kind of experts on the topic. I know people who have lived in Japan, at least temporarily. So I really have gone all out in trying to plan this trip, which, if it does in fact happen, I will 100% film a portion of it for you guys so you can see what my expeditions would be like should I go to the anime land. But if that is to happen, the news that we have this past week is really good, and I really hope it goes through, but things are kind of wonky right now. What I mean by that, there's two news outlets, there's actually multiple news outlets that have reported on it now, but initially there was like two news outlets, I believe it was Fuji and Nikkei in Asia, that said, in a few days, Japan's gonna like start letting tourists back in, right? Individual, waiver-free, like no holds barred. You are good to go. I said that a few days ago, that in a few days it would. It hasn't happened yet, is my point. And as somebody who's planning a trip for December, you start to get a little antsy. They said they were going to do it, according to these reports, in October. We could still get some news as soon as Friday. Who knows? If this changes in the time that I filmed this, because I'll be posting this Saturday, but they could announce it on Friday. I don't know. But I'm filming this now because it has just been a ridiculous process up to this point. If this rule changes from the time I film this, it's Wednesday right now, to Saturday when I post it, I'll put a link in the description to let you guys know. But that all said, it is a really interesting kind of case of what's going on in Japan right now. Many people in Japan, it sure seems like, don't even know that this is really a thing. I mean, people in Kyoto, like business owners and people, have seen a lot of negative effects because they haven't been getting as many customers, but the average person really hasn't been paying much attention to it, from what I've seen of other YouTube videos and just kind of general news about it. And a lot of the elderly population in Japan really couldn't care less for tourists to come back to Japan. But as the yen kind of continues to collapse, we will, I believe, start to see a tourism boom start in Japan. I know for a fact that they're going to want tourists back for the cherry blossom season when it comes back in spring. But if you're looking to go to Japan in the winter like some idiots, maybe a little bit difficult. But that said, I am really hopeful that I can go. It's been a long time coming. As I said, this is a trip that I've had planned for about a year and a half now, where I can go and I can spend all of the money on the anime figures. If you guys have any suggestions for what I should buy while I'm in Japan, if I do in fact get there, leave a comment down below, and don't just say anime figures. Maybe give me something a little bit more specific, and I'll see if they actually have what y'all want. If you guys are really like curious about things that I can look, we get crazy over on the Twitch. I've already got like this kind of stuff. I'll buy anything. I'll buy anything for content. So, all of that said, I hope you enjoy a little look into my recent struggles in scheduling a trip to Japan. Hopefully it opens up soon. I really think it'd be a good opportunity for tourists, and I think the anime boom as of recent really should open up tourists to go there more so than maybe even in prior years. They were actually doing really well in 2019. So we'll see if that continues or if things have pretty much come to a halt. But that's about all I've got for you guys. If you liked it, you can like the video. You know how it works. And subscribe if you're feeling crazy, or even click that notification bell. That's been it from me, and I'll see you guys in the next video.